Hello, I figured out how colors and sex affect love in Gnosia. The final tables should be somewhere in the description, and in this video we'll look at where they come from. As you maybe remember, on Reddit I published default love levels and people discussed them a bit. These of course come from the source code. There are these set love methods, these are the values, and these values affect how characters interact with each other during discussions, somehow. Probably. Maybe. For example, once Shigemichi is in love with Stella, he usually trusts her by default and wouldn't wanna vote for her. But there are some questions to this table. 1. Why Shigemichi doesn't love Stella here? Well, that one's easy. Shigemichi only loves Stella once the player goes through their events, and then the love values change accordingly. They do change in the course of playthrough and sometimes depending on players' choices. Maybe we'll look at changes sometime in the future. But next question. What about Shamin? It would make sense for him to love female main character more. What about that? I haven't found anything that would do something like that, so I thought there is no difference. But actually I'm just stupid and can't read, because these are in the source code. And moreover, you saw people wondering if player color matters. Player color does matter too. Let's consult the source code. In application namespace we have Takashi setScreen class. Apparently this is where we create new player, right? Takashi is the default canon player name. And around line 700 we have switch case. Depending on Takashi's color, we change love. And then depending on sex, we change some love too. Look, if sex is 1, meaning female, character 13 gets a plus. That's gotta be Shamin. If you remember, internally the character IDs go in different order. Gina is number 1, because she is always number 1 in our hearts. Setsu is 11th, and so on. I wonder if it says something about how the characters were developed. Yeah, so the order is different, but sometimes they do use normal order too. It's auto confuse us. Here it must be the different order, so the 13 is Shamin. Anyway, we should also take a look at the numbers. They are pretty big. In the love stats we remember that the numbers were like 0.5, 0.7, and here we have these giant values. I don't want to get into the details here, but the investigation shows that these numbers go from 0 to 65,000 and something. The numbers in the table go from 0 to 1. And also internally we have a different system going from -1 to 1. So in the same range as the numbers in the table, plus 3000 and something will be around 0.05, and minus 2500 will be around 0.0375. Note that in case of sex preferences we get plus 6000, which will be around 0.1. Exact numbers aren't especially important anyway. I think these are more interesting from the point of character background, which character like which colors and so on. So we can decipher the numbers like this. Color 0 is red, we get a plus from 2, 3 and 8, that's SQ, Rakio and Comet. We get a minus from 4 and 7, that's Stellar Remnant. And so on. Summarizing, we get the following results. First, sex. If you are male, Stella loves you. Of course, she would wanna know human attraction, wouldn't she? If you are female, Shamin loves you. We all knew that one. If you are Hana non-binary, Rakio loves you. Yay! Probably approves of your decision to leave mating functions behind. And Shamin still loves you, but not as much as when you are female. Next, colors. Right away, Kukurushka doesn't care about your colors. She doesn't care about anything, frankly. But Yurika also doesn't care. Yurika hates everyone equally. What else? Gina is the most picky one. She likes 4 and dislikes 4 colors. Everyone else has fewer preferences. And Gina likes black. Who would have thought? And Stella too. I like them even more now. Rakio only likes colors, doesn't hate any. Setsu surprisingly doesn't like yellow, even though they are pretty yellow. But they like pink on the other hand. Unfortunately, it doesn't show. Maybe pink hairpin would be fitting? That's about it, I guess. I also made a calculator in Excel. It's not very good, but you can change color and sex and see what the starting numbers will be, to at least have a general idea. Look, we can make Rakio like us. Anyway, bye bye.